Can I show you my garden? I just got home from work after a long day and I've been really wanting some outside time. We're about to get a big storm, so I only have a couple minutes out in my garden today. And then I gotta go make dinner, but I kind of want to share what is going on in the garden. There's not a lot, but there are some new things that I've done this week and I want to show you. So tons of work still to do, but this is gonna take me several weeks and that's okay. But I've got 5 beds cleaned up. So these five raised beds we have cleaned up and amended with compost that I made. That's my compost bins back there, and my chickens back there poop a lot and we compost their manure. So this first bed here I have planted with a purple cauliflower and onion. It's mid-April in Northeast Ohio, and these are all cool weather plants that can handle light frost. So if you're in Ohio like me and people are like, you can't plant your garden until after Mother's Day or after Memorial Day, that's a lie. You can start planting stuff now. It just has to be the appropriate plant for the season, which are all the cool weather crops. If you want me to make a specific video about cool weather crops, leave a comment below letting me know. The next bed is, what is this? It's a purple cabbage. It's called a Calibos cabbage variety, and more onions. This bed is Brussels sprouts, red mustard greens, and more onions. I have interplanted onions everywhere. And lastly, this bed is broccoli called, it's Gypsy is the variety of broccoli, and more onions. This bed here is for a perennial plant, asparagus. Asparagus is a perennial, so once you have it established in your garden, it will continue to come back every single year. The caveat is that when you first plant your asparagus, you have to wait 3 years before you can start to harvest it, so that way you don't disrupt the root system and it can grow nice and big and strong, and then you can harvest it for 20, 30 years thereafter. But all these little asparagus babies started to pop up this week. So all of this is a cover crop. This is winter rye that I intentionally planted, and I know it looks like grass. It is a grass crop, but this is gonna get all cut back and dug under before we plant this area. Cover crops help replenish nutrients into the soil. So instead of using like normal compost, waste, manure, that kind of stuff, or fertilizers, it's a green version of compost, or green compost. Nothing new over in this area, but back here is where I have my garlic planted this year, and it's doing really nice. These big ones here is a variety called elephant garlic. Hi, kitty. And all of these are like a basic hard neck garlic. I've got about 400 plants in this area. I plant these about 4 inches apart in any direction, and we'll see how they do with that close planting this year, but I'm optimistic about it. So all of the garlic was planted back in October, and then we will harvest that in July. This is one of my greenhouses, and I've got plants in here that were growing over winter. Lots of things have gone to seed because it got really hot in here. But this is red mustard greens. So I showed you in one of my beds outside little baby red mustard greens. This is what they grow big to look like. Aren't they beautiful? They're a little spicy. They definitely give you some zest. This is a variety of lettuce called Lola Rosa. It's a cold hardy lettuce, so it grew very well in this unheated greenhouse through winter, and now it is harvestable. Kale plant. So pretty soon I have to clean out this entire space and reset it because I grow tomatoes in here and peppers. I could probably plant tomatoes in there now if I was ready, but I'm not ready because I have a lot going on. this Brussels sprout plant I've shared a couple times this in recent videos. This is from last year. I started this guy from seed in February of 2023. It's April now of 2024, and it overwintered and it lived, and it's got lots of Brussels sprouts that are ready to be eaten. So I gotta get in here and cut this. But this is a champ. This is what a plant looks like after a hard Northeast Ohio winter. Okay, it was a mild winter, but it still froze quite a bit and it lived. So props to this guy. Good job. What? Was my dog in here? The giant hole. Here is another Brussels sprout plant that lived that has since gone to seed. So it looks very similar to broccoli does. That's because it's in the same family as broccoli, the brassica family. This one does have a lot of nice little Brussels sprouts on here that I can go ahead and harvest. Now, if I left it like this, these will turn into yellow flowers, and eventually those little yellow flowers will dry up, kind of look dead, and then we leave them and they make seeds, and then I could plant more Brussels sprouts. So here is a Brussels sprout plant as it's transitioning into its next phase of life. I do like to save seeds from my plants because it gives me control over my seed stock, and the plants become acclimated to my climate. So that Brussels sprout plant that has lived a whole year in my climate, the seeds that it produces are going to be more hardy for my climate. And then if I plant those seeds and grow a Brussels sprout and then save those seeds, and so on, every generation, it just creates a stronger variety for where I live specifically. In these beds up here, my chives are all coming back. So in about a month, these will have beautiful purple blossoms. I had celery growing in this area last year, and that's all regrowing again, what was left. I've got fennel, and what is that? It's an oregano plant. It looks like there's some new growth coming back on this, which is good. Oh yeah, I forgot that I have peas planted along all of these archways. So I just sowed the seeds 4 days ago. And so the pea variety that I got, they grow up to like 6 to 8 feet tall. So they will climb and cover these trellises in a month or two. And then this whole area needs a lot of work. This is all getting redone. I like to change the design of my garden every couple years just to keep things new and fun and exciting. So this area, yeah, I think it's been about 2 years that I've had it in the same way. And I think we're going to be building some raised beds for this space that will become permanent. But I am kind of moving towards having some more raised beds. From a maintenance perspective, they are easier to maintain and get opened at the beginning of the season. Hence why all these ones back there, I got those cleaned up and planted within one afternoon. But all of my in-ground spaces will require a lot more work to get those prepared for the year, which is fine. Years past, I think I've probably had some more time and flexibility to do that, but as things in my life are changing and evolving, as they all do, some raised beds I think are going to be helpful in being for me to be able to keep up with everything that I want to do and need to do. All of my chamomile came back up from last year and it is spreading. It won't be long until all of the perennials are up and blooming and this whole space becomes beautiful again. So that's my garden. I'm starting to feel rain droplets. I gotta wrap this one up. Do you like these kind of videos? If you'd like to see more garden tour content, let me know in a comment below. And make sure to follow and subscribe for more home garden tips. Okay, Alexa, go inside. Wait, what did you say?